What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the left side of the map, playing as Hades. His name is Rapl. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Joe. The map is Blue Lagoon. And this is going to be an exciting one, ladies and gentlemen. Always love seeing Joe's Isis play. His ideas are always incredibly lame, and he'll really make you pay for weak play, essentially. So we'll see what Joe's going to come up with in this game. He's got himself the 3 giraffe start, but and we actually are seeing Joe doing something a little bit different here. I normally go 2 villagers on giraffe and 2 villages on gold, but 3 villages on giraffe and 3 villages on gold is roughly the same type of build. So he might be able to get himself the monument. He might be able to get himself the temple all at the same time and advance, as well as get all of his obelisks up. So we'll see if that's going to be the case here for Joe or not. Moving forward, Rapl, on the other hand, he does have himself the 3 giraffe here as well. Now, if you are kind of aware of my kind of theory for how you're supposed to play on certain maps, is based on the hunt you get dictates what sort of build you should go for. Now, if you've got 900 food, which is one variant of Blue Lagoon, there's also the 600 food variant. If you've got this variant, you have 2 options in terms of your build. You have a 4-minute advance option, which is really, really strong. Or you've got the 430 advance option. And if you go 430, you will have to build a second granary. You will have to go onto your secondary hunt. So you do need to put 3 villages on wood nice and early to make that happen. And you're going to be able to get yourself Ajax, Chiron, and the town center. Now, if you go for the 4-minute build, you can actually just get the town center first and delay your Ajax, Chiron just a hot second, and then get them a little bit later. And you get the town center faster, so you get an extra villager or 2 out quicker, but you get the lack of pressure early. So, or you can go for like a more of an aggressive play here. Just kill it. Rappl's so cheeky. He almost got that giraffe to get pushed back. That's so cheeky from Rapl, trying to make things just that little bit inefficient for Joe, but Joe catches it. Monument up, house down. You have to start the temple now if you want a 430 advance time with 1 villager. It takes roughly 40 seconds or 50 seconds for the town center, for the temple to get up, as the villager is going to throw that one down. So actually, Joe here probably will be able to advance here with just the 1 villager on the temple. So he's improving his build. My golly gosh. Love it. Absolutely love it. As Rapl is now going for the double granary, which does mean 430 advance time. So the more information you get involved with what your opponent's done, so if you're playing like as Norse and you're trying to work out what sort of strategy your opponent's doing, you can get a lot of information out of just like looking at the granaries. How many granaries does my opponent have? How many villages on wood does my opponent have? And all these things can really give you the information that can dictate what strategy they're doing. So looking at the villager kind of distribution, and the more you know about your opponent's god, the more you can be like, well, they could be doing this, they could be doing this, they could be doing this, so I need to play around those things. And you can easily sort of be greedy in one area or safe in another area and survive kind of whatever they're trying to do. So Joe here, his temple is up, but he's a little bit short on the food because he's decided to go for wood here. And look, here's another thing. If your opponent is playing as Egyptian and they decide to go for wood early, what that indicates is they're going for a fast heroic most of the time here, as Joe is garrisoning his villages over here. He's going to be advancing for a 445 with 2 villagers on wood. And we'll see what's happening. We've got the Mister in the chat. Tomorrow I'll be meeting with Rapl for a coffee. Any messages you want to give that noob in real life? I have got nothing to say. He keeps stealing my strategies, so we're on bad terms at the moment. Just kidding. I love Rapl. Say hi for me. Say hi for me. Hope you're doing well, Mister. Can't wait to see you tearing it up in Retold when it comes round. Fast on the way for Joe. He does have 10 villages on gold here, so this is actually indicating a second town center, but I don't know if if Joe's economy can quite support a strong 2 town center play here. He does have a nice hunt over here, but there's not going to be, if he grabs this town center, he's not going to have the hunt in his main base. He'll have to be eating pigs, eating berries, maybe go for farms here or something like that if he wants to go for a 2 town center fast heroic. So he might actually be deciding to go for a 2 town center classical fight here into 3 town center vibes, which could be really, really strong against Hades. Secure the map a little bit. You can see that Rappl's going to be fairly, normally Greek players are fairly greedy with their hunt villages against Egyptian because they just expect them not to get attacked at all. But we'll see how things are going to go as the elephant does get grabbed there. Joe now, he's getting himself the 2nd town center. Lots of villages over here. He does have an elephant over here as the Minotaur going to be moving in onto this position. The priest already attacking this one as the Minotaur going to attempt to deny this. The Katoskopos coming over here going to start harassing the Pharaoh. Nice micro there from Joe to snipe that one down as the Pharaoh pulling off this location. He needs to empower this one, get this up as fast as he can. One thing that would be smart very smart by Rapl would be to kill this elephant all the way over here as best as he can. He should kill it and he's going to take a little bit of damage from it, but killing this one means that Joe can't drag this close to the town center and make it nice and close for him to gather. So nice play from Rapl there, as Joe's going to be hurting just a little bit. Now, in terms of the total hunt that's here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zebra remaining. So 1,400 food in that position. Actually, that's actually probably enough here. Joe could probably think about taking these villages off of wood at the moment, get himself his pickaxe, get himself his husbandry, and all the other good stuff. If this is me, if I go in for 2 town centers, I generally don't put villages onto wood because it does slow you down a little bit, but it does give you a little bit more economy. Maybe not really, actually, considering you get slowed down. So I don't think there's any good reason to go wood here and go for a fast 2nd town center. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. As the Chiron going to move in on this position, see if he can snipe this now. You can actually defend against Chiron, just lone Chiron, with the Pharaoh and the priest. What you do is you just attack the Chiron with the Pharaoh, exactly like Joe's doing here. When the Chiron, and then you just retreat away, heal the Pharaoh back up, and then rinse and repeat. And that Chiron is not going to be able to push through there fast enough to get any villager kills or anything like that. Anyways, we're going to be seeing Rapl dropping down his archery range and stable. He's on 2 town centers himself now. Continuing forward here, we're seeing the Sphinx looking for some raids. There are some very low HP villagers over here that Joe wants to be picking off, but he's just going to be pulling his Sphinx back for the time being. Those Sentinels very, very strong here. Unfortunately for Joe, he didn't find this random hunt location over here. As you can see, Joe's scouting does not get that information for himself, and he's scouted up the top corner of the map instead of the bottom corner here, unfortunately, as his obelisk days are numbered. But Joe, he might be getting to this next stage. It's looking very, very close here. Joe's playing it very, very conservatively with the economic upgrades. He's only got himself husbandry and pickaxe here, as he's got lots of wood in the bank, but he's not getting himself that shaft mine just yet, as this food is just about to finish up, and we see him able to get a nice advance here, possibly out of this one, doesn't really matter. But the problem for Joe going forward is a bit of a Blue Lagoon problem. These gold mines, these second gold mines, are very, very difficult to grab. And we're going to see that that's probably going to mean that Rapl can force some sort of Ancestors Eclipse here. If Rapl can scout this one out, as the Chiron and the Sphinx, looks like Joe notices it before Rapl does. As Joe coming through on the back, the Chiron is still sitting here. The Sphinx is just going to retreat away. Prosperity is down now, as this gold mine is going to drain incredibly fast here. Incredibly fast. So we'll see what can happen going forward, as the Sphinx is going to be searching around for something to raid, maybe an Ancestors Eclipse onto the economy or something like that. Could be really, really strong for Joe, but generally speaking, the big timing pushes here are what makes Egyptian strong in this matchup, and obviously it's Hades, so it can be a little bit tough to make that work, but you have to go for it. Otherwise, you fall very, very severely behind in this matchup. As Rapl spamming those villages out. He's sitting at 69 to 70 population, throwing his houses down, trying to keep himself afloat here Continuing to make everything come out in the right order. There's the Nephthys 9 minutes into the game as the Chiron comes in on this little gap over here. There is, did I see a cheeky elephant in the corner here? A cheeky elephant in the corner. Joe's going to be very upset that he didn't go over there and eat that, I guess, as the Migdol Stronghold trying to get thrown up. This is such a greedy place for a Migdol Stronghold. There is no point in putting this Migdol Stronghold up here as the villagers are going to start getting sniped down. We do see the Scorpion Man coming in here, gets that splash damage done over here as the Pharaoh are getting a ton of damage done with the big balls there. But now the Toxoid is focused down the Pharaoh. Nice marker there from Joe, pulling ever so slightly back, keeping his units alive. We see the Sphinx coming in as the heroes are not through here for some reason for Rapl, as the Migdol does end up getting up here. But now the Chiron in, that's going to be a sniped Scorpion Man. Now we're going to start seeing Chariot Archers getting spammed here for Joe. As a siege works, should get thrown up somewhere else as well. There is a world where he can push through over this cliff, push through here, push through here, push through here as the best option here. Now, I do think that Rapl has made a slight mistake in going for his front town center. Normally, it's better to go for your back town center against ISIS, especially if ISIS goes for one town center. But maybe against the two town center, it's fine here. But we'll see how things are going to eventuate here, as Joe's got tons of villagers on food here trying to support this production. And you can start spamming the farms out, grab his third town center if he wants, get himself a whole bunch of siege towers and decide the way to move forward, as there are a ton of Zebra on this town center, as well as Joe's going to move forward and try and throw down the Migdol on this gold mine here to secure that one, as he's got no gold income. Remaining villagers on the pigs over here as well, as it looks like Joe's economy is starting to get very, very scary as the units pushing out. And this is the very important moment here for Rapl. He really, really wants to force an Ancestors Eclipse, but I don't think that Joe's going to fall for it. He keeps his Pharaoh alive beautifully. There's the restoration in on this position as the villagers garrisoning here, and the Pharaoh here needs to be very careful not to get picked off. The Chariot Archers continuing to get built as Rapl is getting some good damage done onto Joe, who's moving up to the top location over here. Maybe going to grab this gold mine in the top corner. The villagers retreating back over here. The Migdol Stronghold holding this position quite nicely as the Chariot Archers doing what they can. Joe here trying to make some Scorpion Men out to help himself out, as the unit's going to continue to sit underneath this Migdol Stronghold. But Joe realizes casting Ancestors Eclipse here would be a vital mistake going forward, so he's just going to try and hold this one as best as he can, as the Scorpion Man comes in, going to start getting some good damage down done here. But the Chiron is in, going to be getting that Scorpion Man down very quickly, as we see the Chariot Archers trying to focus the Chiron down, getting low HP. The Ajax goes down, the Chiron goes down, and it looks to me that Rapl's push here is dwindling, as he needs to rethink his choices going forward. So now Joe has dealt with a lot of the Rapl army. A big push going forward here is going to be very brutal. In fact, this location going through here and attacking this way is going to be really, really tough for Rapl to stop. He hasn't got any buildings over here to slow this one down. And look, Joe can either just get himself a third town center and go for like a Mythic Age or something like that. He's going for this location here as well to grab that. We see the Chariot Archer is going to be trying to prevent this town center from getting up. I'd love to see just like, I don't know, a Migdol or something going up in that corner here, as these villagers all sitting idle for the time being, as the Hippocon still pushing forward onto this position. Joe still hasn't gone for anything other than Chariot Archers here, but he can just sit underneath these Migdols and defend with Chariot Archers going forward here, as long as that Scorpion Man can stay alive here. Look at the Chiron getting sniped down, but you have to kind of make sure the Chiron is sitting there, like standing still, otherwise Chariot Archers don't actually get damage done, as it looks like the Hippocon have pushed through really, really nicely here. No upgrades just yet for Rapl. Would have loved to have seen copper shields coming through here to give those medium Hippocon that effective boost in armor if he wants to continue to fight underneath these locations against the Chariot Archers. But the villagers are getting pushed off here, as Rapl is holding firm. Villagers now finally for Joe. We're throwing this down, and there's that Ancestors Eclipse that Joe was holding onto for so long getting forced, and Rapl is going to be ecstatic about that going forward here. Managing to force the defensive Ancestors means Rapl can just kind of just push back in here and then sit defensively and take this game into the late game and be completely fine going forward here. Now, that being said, these villagers are very open here. That's going to be a weakness for Rapl, as Joe, he's kind of almost hinted that he's going to do that, but he's not going for it just yet. Joe's got full villagers now, it would seem, or just about full villagers, nearly 80 in the bank. Rapl here pumping everything out as best as he can. Lots of military buildings here. I really love this positioning from Rapl. It makes you feel like you can push through, but these your units get completely jammed up if they try and push through these positions. And once the Ancestors Eclipse finishes, Rapl is going to easily return fire here. 110 population to Joe's 135 of 136 population. There's no siege here for Joe. He hasn't really even considered throwing down a siege work to make those siege towers, as the units getting taken down over here. A little bit of deleting happening there by Rapl to open this location up so he can push through, as Joe pulls ever slightly back here underneath the Migdol stronghold. I don't think Rapl needs to take these fights anymore. He needs to be just saying, come to me, Joe, fight me under my town center, and grab his own third or something here, or go Mythic Age through Hephaestus. But Rappel's content with continuing to take these fights right now. These are only Isis Heroic Age units here, not Ra Heroic Age units, so the Hades does a little bit better in these situations against Isis than he does against Ra. But I still think it's going to be a little bit difficult to continue along here, as the Scorpion Man going to be getting taken out going forward here. But still putting pressure on, still keeping Joe on the back foot just a little bit. But Joe, look at that gold going forward. He can grab this town center at any point going on here. His economic upgrades, he still doesn't have himself shaft mine, yet he's got 40 villages on gold, so I guess he just doesn't care. Does he have a market up? He does have two. He's got 2 markets up. So he can buy food, he can buy gold, he can get whatever he wants. He is going for this town center now. The Pharaoh can help him out with that as well if he so chooses. But Joe's one of the few players here who can kind of go toe-to-toe with the Greeks in the late game with his Egyptian, just because he's so good at controlling the game and playing the advantages of Egyptian over the Greek, as these villagers get pulled back. So the Pharaoh's going to grab this town center. One thing that Joe could do now, it's completely claim victory in this game, is put the pressure on that bottom town center there, and not necessarily need to take it, but just prevent his opponent from grabbing it. As Rapl pushing in, now we have the heavy chariots. Things start looking very, very difficult for the Hades in the classical age. Without having heavy army, he kind of loses against the chariot archers in a big way. As we see the raid coming in onto this position, Joe says, I can just retreat here and attack you from afar while your villagers get taken down. Rapl not paying attention over here. He's going to lose pretty much every one of these villagers as they're going to be retreating back, but there's just so much damage coming through. Maybe 2 villagers will escape here. 2 villagers just barely escape there, as Joe's able to defend on this position fairly easily going forward. The Migdol stronghold might go down, but Joe's got plenty of gold coming in. He can come in and grab this gold mine over here. He's over here grabbing this one. The stable over there is up, but even if he picks off this Migdol, Joe still has a Migdol back here. Plenty of gold going forward, moving on to this location, and it's going to be 156 against 130 population, or 154 I should say, against 130 population going forward. So Joe's got all the advantages in this position, as Rapl here, he's still producing villages, he's got his farms set up everywhere, still can't grab this town center. He basically needs to get Heroic Age here, or Heroic Age and then Mythic Age, to make any sort of forward movement going forward here, as the chariot archers holding strong, sniping down Toxotes and everything else. We see Joe pulling back here ever so slightly as some more stables getting thrown up. The villagers back onto this gold mine. Joe's just like, I don't need upgrades, man. Full army, full send, full micro. Don't take any bad fights here. Villagers getting pulled off here. We see Rapl might be thinking about coming up onto this location. If we take a quick look at Rappel's situation, he does know that there's a villager over here. But Joe here, his 3 town centers. He's going Osiris. He's got his Pharaoh over here with full HP. He's going to be able to get himself, he needs to cut that Scorpion Man and get himself City of the Dead here as well. As units coming in onto this position, Joe being very, very careful with that Pharaoh. Doesn't want that one to be getting targeted down at all, so he can get as much HP onto that one as possible. Rapl gets himself the town center over here as Joe gets a little bit too distracted here in this game. He probably could have left like a Chariot Archer or 3 over here to just prevent the town center from ever going up here. But nice play from Rapl to get that one up. But now he's stuck in the classical age even longer going forward here. You can see he's trying to advance, but I feel like once the Son of Osiris comes down, things are going to be very, very difficult for Rapl moving forward here. We do see the villagers trying to push through here, trying to get something done, but the walls are up now for Joe. So the side builds are relatively impossible, at least in the very back portions of the base. Trying to get that stable up over there, but Toxotes getting taken down. We see a monument to the soldiers coming up on this position. Love that from Joe, preventing any sort of earthquake or anything like that coming through. Now Joe's got himself the Son of Osiris. He's got himself the economy. He can start getting himself all of his economic upgrades going forward. Let's see what he's getting. He's getting himself hand axe now. Still no upgrades in terms of irrigation or anything like that, but we'll see what Joe's going to continue to go for. He's getting himself a Migdol stronghold now. No siege still up for Joe. Does he have one? He does have 2. Okay, he's got 2. So he's got 2 options to go for now. You can go for this town center or you can go for this one. Honestly, this one is naked. So you can throw that Migdol up over here and just put all the pressure onto that position there. But in reality here, Joe's got all of the advantage moving forward here with his Son of Osiris. His mummy's coming in. He can throw up a monument over here as well. Get himself 3 monuments to be spamming the mummies out moving forward in this game. Look at this positioning that Joe's got. He needs to be careful about the Son of Osiris. Son of Osiris kills off the medium Hippocon incredibly fast. You can have the chariots pick off those Toxotes, and you're completely fine here, but Joe doing his best here. We do see Aphrodite comes in. There's the curse. Got to be careful now because the Hippocon can rush this as the Son of Osiris gets caught out ever so slightly here. Joe's micro not so well done at that position, but he does manage to keep that Son of Osiris alive. Pulling it back. We're now starting to see some catapults coming in for Joe. A little bit slow to be making some of those big fat units here. Wouldn't be a bad idea to make like an elephant or 2 just now, but the Toxotes still getting good damage done onto the Son of Osiris. You have to marker this one consistently here. Jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, but the Toxotes do get picked off there as this mummy moving forward, trying to pick off the Nemean line. That's a big target there for the mummy. Not able to do so. Going to be retreating back, keeping himself alive here for that Nemean lion kill as the Son of Osiris gets targeted down yet again. Rapl is playing this one very, very nicely going forward. Joe's got tons of resources in the bank, but his production is just not there. He's got a handful of barracks here that could help out a lot here, but Joe's just not producing here. He's got so many resources. Throw some Migdols down. Do something else. The heavy Hippocon comes in as Rapl doesn't even care at this point that Son of Osiris is doing crazy amounts of damage. Maybe some mercenary coming out here wouldn't be a bad idea for Joe as he does finally start picking up some mercenary cavalry here. Rapl is just happily sitting in this heroic age, putting all the pressure on as Joe is slowly losing his advantage moving forward in this game. The Son of Osiris is at 127 to 146 population, still doesn't have City of the Dead. Rapple's got plenty of favor in the bank. Joe does not have the favor to produce his City of the Dead just yet. That's the technology that makes that HP go up to around about 600 HP total for the Son of Osiris. So that's going to help him out just a little bit going forward as the siege works on this position coming through. The catapult's going to start being able to take down the stable. Over here is the villagers finishing up on that gold mine as Rapl does see a slight possibility for a gold starve going forward here. We see the walls coming up on this position. This could be very, very disastrous for Joe going forward. He hasn't started any trade just yet. He's got running out of gold mine over here. Does Joe probably feel like he's got another gold up the top? No. Joe knows there's no other gold in his line of sight, and he needs to get something done now as this that Petromus gets way too much damage done. Should not have been able to pick off that catapult there at all as the walls come through. This is going to be a very difficult position for Rapl to push through, but he doesn't care. He just wants to keep Joe in this position here. Do we see the trade started? He can make a trade route from this corner over here going to this town center if he so chooses, as the Toxotes continuing to push through here. The town center going to be going down. I don't think that Rapl is really necessarily going to care too much about losing this town center, so long as he can keep the pressure going, as the units do manage to get in here and take off the catapult. You need another wall on the back here, it would seem, as the Son of Osiris gets pulled back. Rapl's at 140 or 145 population. Joe's at 100 population, as Joe is getting ever so slightly closer. 2,000 gold remaining in that gold mine, as that is a very, very real win condition that Rapl is playing towards. He's got the full map control going forward here, as these Toxotes, they just need to continue trying to snipe the Son of Osiris, getting closer and closer to falling. 60 HP, 40 HP, 30 HP, and almost dead, jumping into the Migdol stronghold. There's 6 HP remaining on that Son of Osiris. Joe has to micro this one literally perfectly here to get more value out of that Son of Osiris, but Joe's now sitting at 77 of 154 population. No economy remaining in this game, it would seem, as he still has the advantage. Somehow, some way, the villagers sneaking onto this gold mine. Rapl needs to think about a way to prevent that from happening, because, I mean, this is his win condition in a way, but looks like Rapl has got all of the advantage going forward. The villagers need to do something over here. We are seeing the stables coming up on this position. There's a gate over here, so he can easily move around there and start raiding that, as Joe's Son of Osiris is sitting in here looking what he can do. But the villagers sneaking through on this location. They will find Rapl's trade route. They will find a gold mine over here and over here to be grabbed, as the Migdol stronghold does end up going down. The Son of Osiris gets sniped there, as well, as these villagers have nowhere to go just yet. Rapl here dealing with this catapult over here, as Joe is relatively, I mean, he's kind of wasting resources as it is, making catapult when he needs to be putting all of his efforts into securing a gold mine here. Joe just not figuring it out moving forward. The villagers sitting idle on this position. No trade route. Well, he's starting the trade route now out of this position here. He can really, I mean, if he had started it before, he's got 1,700 food in the bank. If he just spent 1,700 food on camel caravans over the past 5 minutes, he would have had 17 camel caravans. But not doing it just yet, as Rapl going to be retreating back. We see these villagers getting sniped off. Joe's still, look at this, he's got himself only 762 gold remaining, as I reckon Rapl, he is going Hephaestus now. He's 40% of the way through to the Mythic Age. He has got a firm grip on this game going forward here, as the villagers getting taken down, going to run into this town center to keep themselves alive. Joe trying to get himself the Migdol stronghold up over here, but I mean, he's got nothing remaining, as the walls coming through here, going to be putting a stop to the trade route. Nice play here from Joe, as Rapl gets caught out ever so slightly, but Rapl does have this corner over here if he wants to use it going forward here, as the Migdol stronghold gets prevented. And Hephaestus will be a terrifying fact that Joe has to deal with going forward here. He's got himself 1,000 food in the bank, but only 70 population moving forward. And being at only 70 population means that Joe doesn't even have 80 villages worth of population here. He's hurting completely here. He's got, this gold mine is expired. He's got no gold remaining. His trade route is barely functional here, as the Migdol stronghold trying to come up over here. Hephaestus comes through, and what can Joe do going forward? He gets himself stone gates going forward, as these villagers are going to attempt to retreat back, but they are all getting sniped down, as Rapl now, he can get himself a Forge of Olympus immediately now going forward, and he's also got a fortress on the front, so that's going to be Heliopoli to be produced, as well, as the villagers do come through on this position trying to break down the stone wall with their shanky shanks, but it looks like another wall coming through here. These villagers could just kind of snipe all these villagers down if they so choose, as I mean, Joe is just desperately trying to get back into this game. He's still only producing from one market there when he has 2 there. Now the Colossus moving in onto this position. That's going to be siege for Rapl, as Rappel's got a Heliopoli, or Heliopolis queued up now. He needs to kind of get that coming out. Maybe he's getting himself fortified town centers. Yes, he is. So that Heliopolis is going to be a force to be reckoned with, as the Sphero is trying to deal with the Colossus over here. But in that moment, Joe does decide to tap out. GG. Well played by Rapl. An incredibly nice, like, kind of, what is that? A 4th gold mine starve here. Home gold mine, 2 gold mines. That 4th gold mine for Joe, not able to grab The trading here seemed like it just wasn't that good from Rapl, but his economy just carried him through in this game. Taking a look at that resource count, look at Rapl's just absolute absurd economic advantage here. If we take a look at the civilian count, though, it's equal. It's equal, but Joe is not gathering his upgrades. Look at this. He's got his upgrades now. He doesn't have himself irrigation. He doesn't have himself flood control. He doesn't have himself quarry. He didn't start the trade route. Rapl, on the other hand here, he's also got no upgrades. So what is going on here in this game that allowed Rapl to have such an economic advantage here to be able to push in and deal with Joe so well here? Joe needs to rethink his strategy at this point in order to get himself some more economy going. I think making trade when he could have would have been a really, really good play here. If he'd made that trade, he would have been able to support his production much better. Maybe even having a little bit more production buildings, maybe double Migdol on this position or something like that, could have been able to allow him to produce a little bit better. Making some elephant here as well with all that food would have been an option as well in order to just fill the population space and all the other good stuff, tanking against Toxotes and everything else, but didn't make it happen. Rapl gets the dub. Joe gets the L. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.